All right, we are live. Welcome, family, to another show. Today, we have a very good show for you guys today. As far as the best countries for expats and digital nomads to relocate to or move to, rather. Really good, informative show, man. I did a lot of good research on this one. This topic of conversation came up yesterday while I was on the beach with a couple of guys from the Black Man Travels 2.0 Facebook group. Want to give a shout out to them. And we were discussing, like, hey, it was like, hey, Aaron, where you really see yourself setting up at? And I said, right now, man, I'm still, pretty much exploring the world at this point. So what I want to do is I want to do a show to kind of give you guys kind of like a guideline, um, more so than actually telling you exactly where to go. Because the thing is, until you actually get out there to that country and you move around a little bit and you meet different expats and you spend maybe a month, 2 months out there to kind of pick up on the vibe, you're really not going to know where you want to set up shop at, right? A lot of us go to Colombia, Brazil, DR, and Thailand, but there's a lot more countries out there that might offer something that might be really good for you. The particulars of what you want or where you want to live at. Everybody's vibe is a little different. So I just want to preface the show before we get started and just say, hey, man, you really got to network and spend a good amount of time in that country. Now, unless you got some type of program that you're in the country, you got a few countries that they chose for you. Maybe your employer chose these countries. Maybe you're doing some contracting out there in the Middle East. That's a different story. But for this show, we're going to assume that you have the choice of what country you would like to move to or what country you like to work in. Now, there are many benefits to becoming a digital nomad, all right? And there's many benefits to becoming an expat, especially if you can get, every country is a little different, but in a lot of cases, a lot of people are moving out of America because of the inflation and the high tax rates. So there's a lot of benefits. So this is going to be a good show. Let me see who's all in the chat, and we're going to get you rolling in 1 second, all right? It's going to be a good show today, man. Shout out to Shay Star. Good morning to you, brother. He says, he just says, good morning, okay. Real Day Bone in the house. He said, good morning, fam. Salute to you, BMT. That's what's up. Gabriel Gas in the building. Good morning, BMT. What's good? What's good, family? We in here. We in here, man. Shout out to my guy, Trey Tears, with the first super chat of the day. He says, $5. Great topic. Shout out to him with the $5 super chat. Yeah, man, I'm not one of those guys that, say, hey, man, you all got to go back to Africa or South America is just so dope or nah, man, Asia. I look at it like this, man. You choose your own country. You're your own man. You walking your own path. I know a guy who sends me messages from Cambodia. He loves Cambodia. Cambodia might not be a lot of guys' vibe, but that's where he's at. He has a family there. I believe he has a business there. Every country is different. So this is why I decided to do kind of like a list of some general guidelines. And this is going to be some things you might not think about, especially if you're not like a traveler or an expat. This is some things I didn't think about when I decided to start moving overseas. All right. So shout out to Trey Tears for the $5 super chat. Once again, we got Leeward Moore in the building. Says salute BMT. We got Damon Walton. He says enjoy the shows. Appreciate that, fam. Appreciate that, man. All right. So real quick before we get started, I want to give a shout out to the Black Man Travels 2.0 group, man. I get a lot of topics out of that group. If you haven't joined, make sure you join the Black Men Travels 2.0 group as well as Passport Bros. Right now, for some reason, we don't have access to the admin on Black Men 2.0. Sometimes we get access, sometimes we're not. So if you're in there, your post hasn't gotten approved yet, just bear with us for a moment. The group is not suspended or it's not down. We just don't have access to the admin because of quote unquote technical difficulties. That's why it's going to be really important for us to control our own platform. But we're going to talk about that a little later on in the show. All right, family? So let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's pull up this article right here. All right. Let's go where we at. All right, I want to pull up this article. Now, this is something that most guys don't really think about here. The world's worst countries to drive in. All right. Now, me personally, I prefer Uber or a taxi. I wouldn't dare drive in some of these countries. You can pay me to drive in some of these countries, but in certain countries, like even here in Brazil, I can see myself driving. It's a little bit more. You don't see a lot of accidents. It doesn't seem very dangerous. They have the roads and the highways pretty well put together, similar to America. Their own ramp is on the opposite side, which would throw you off. But if you did decide to drive in these countries, or you want to know, like, because you got to understand that, traffic accidents in some of these countries are the leading cause of death, right? Like, you can pay me $1 million to even drive, maybe $1 million, but you can pay me to drive in Dominican Republic, bro. Dominican Republic has a lot of issues. I know one guy that he was in an accident. Unfortunately, it was a fatality within the accident. A German guy out there in the Dominican Republic. It was not his fault, but he cannot leave the country because the family wants compensation from him, and the courts are working with the family because, of course, they're Dominican, they're locals, right? So even though it's not his fault, he can't leave the country until he pays that family some type of restitution. So he has to get in contact with the American embassy to try to figure this out. So now they're going back and forth. He's literally stuck in the Dominican Republic. And he told me he's never coming back there again. He wish he never drove in there. So these are some of the things you want to be mindful for when you decide to say, because some guys, if you live in a country for more than 6 months, you want a car. You want to be able to drive. I know guys that do drive in the Dominican Republic, but personally, I wouldn't drive in the Dominican Republic. So let me get to this little list real quick of the world's worst countries to drive in. Now, coming in at number one, and this is the world, right? This is estimated out of 100,000 people. This is done by WHO, the World's Health Organization. They keep a track of the deaths in traffic accidents all around the world. So coming in at number one would be Liberia. All right. 1,657 deaths within a year. Let's see here. You got St. Lucia. I did that. That's a new one. St. Lucia coming in at number two. Burundi at number three, and you got Zimbabwe coming in at number four. So you might not want to drive there. But look who comes in at number five. The good old Dominican Republic. All right. 3,684 deaths a year. That's a lot for a small island. I would say less than the size of Texas. I've actually known some people personally. I know a female in the Dominican Republic. She died from a traffic accident. I know another guy that died from a traffic accident in the DR. Anywhere you got this motor control culture of motorcycles, and you got cars, and then you got maybe people that don't have insurance or licenses. You know what I'm saying? And then you got they don't really look at the lights like that. They just kind of doing everybody just go, 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 and it seems so spaced out that you can do that. You got to be very mindful of that. You got to be very careful with driving. That's why I kind of like to get in vans. For the first time I saw a car actually in the trees in the Dominican Republic. I'm like, how did the car get in it was upside down in the tree. I'm like, how the hell it was nobody else around. None of the cars in the accident, but it was like off in the tree, like on the top of a tree. Some palm trees, the car just laying there. I'm like, wow, how did that happen? So you just want to be mindful of that. Okay. Let me catch a super chat by DK Leo. I think that's DK Leo with a $5 super chat. He says, just turned 18 and sub to the Patreon. Shout out to the BMT Patreon. He says, love this information. Gotta start the journey young. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for that $5 super chat. Appreciate you joining the Patreon as well. All right. So let's get back to this real quick. Let's see what we got down here. Now we got Venezuela coming in at number 7. We got the Dominican Republic of Congo coming in above that at number 6. You got the Central African Republic, but you got Thailand coming in at number 9. All right, with a reported 22,491 deaths. All right. So that's a lot. That is a lot of car accidents. All right. So let's see where America is at. We got the Gambia at number 17. We got Rwanda, number 18. Uganda coming in at number 21. All right. Kenya at number 27 here on the list. We got the Congo and Somalia. A lot of African countries on here. Vietnam, number 37. We got South Africa, number 40. All right. Let's see. We got Botswana at coming in at number 49, 50 to Angola. A lot of African countries here, man. India, I would thought India would have came a little bit more higher. Let's see. We got Colombia coming in at number 67. All right. Colombia is about the size of Texas. So you got 8,987 deaths in Colombia. All right. Now we're going to try to find America, kind of give you a gauge a little bit. Let's see. USA, where you at? Okay, USA comes in at 112. Now we know United States is big in comparison to a lot of other countries with 39,888 deaths. All right. So this is a list out of, let's see, 175 countries. So I know a lot of people don't look at that, but if you're going to be getting Ubers, I mean, it's been cases where I tell my Uber driver in the Dominican Republic, hey, bro, I pay you to slow down. You know, I don't pay the crazy driving stuff. We're not in a hurry. All right. Shout out to Brandon Banks in the chat. He says, can't wait to travel somewhere warm. The cold is killing me. I understand that, man. Okay, let's go back. He said, who's number one? Number one was Liberia. Liberia came in at number one. St. Lucia at number two. All right. Burundi at number three. Zimbabwe at number four. Number five is the Dominican Republic. Number six is the Democratic Republic of Congo. Number seven is Venezuela. Number eight, Central African Republic. And number nine, Thailand. 10, that's Guyana. And 11, Malawi. All right. A lot of African, pretty much Asian countries. You know what I didn't see? I didn't see Brazil on the list anywhere. Let me see if Brazil came in at number 65. Brazil came in at number 65. Like I say, I would drive in Brazil, man. Brazil, you know, I don't see a lot of accidents here in Brazil like that, believe it or not. At least in Rio. That's right. Brazil came at number 65. People drive. When I first came out here in 2017, and I didn't really understand the highway structure here. It seemed like everybody was driving crazy. But they actually have, like, on some of these highways, they have a lot of lanes, you know, 6, 8 different lanes. And they have, you know, buses, you know, dedicated to taxis and buses as well. So that really helps with the flow of traffic. So I would, you know, 65 is not great, but it's not that bad. You know, I wouldn't try to drive nowhere in the top 50 personally. All right. Yeah. Damon Walton says, boy, it's real in Dominican Republic. You paying people to slow down. Yeah, you got to say that sometime, man. Because at certain times of the day, they don't pay attention to the lights at all. You know, they don't even get, sometimes they don't even do like a glance. Like, you know how you might pull up to a red light, look both ways, then go. At night, if it's 2, 3 in the morning and a lot of flights coming to Santiago around that time, they just zipping through. They just zipping through them, man. And you never know who's coming on the other side of that. So definitely want to be careful of that. All right. Let's get to the other stat. Now, another very important stat for you, family, is the world safest countries for expats. Now, this study was actually done by expats in these countries. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Give me a second here. Let me pull this up. All right. All right. So in this article right here, it is the world's safest countries for expats. All right. So the survey data was collected. Let me make sure you guys can see that. Here we go. All right. Let me go here. Safest countries for expats ranked. The survey data was collected from the 7th to the 31st January 2021. Therefore, results do not reflect any events which have occurred since. All right. So this was last year. Now, coming in at number one, and I know most of you guys might not visit these countries, but this is good information to know. All right. Coming in at number one will be Finland. Finland came at number 1 for the safest countries for expats ranked. Number 2 is Singapore. All right. Number 3 is the UAE over there in the Middle East. Number 4 is Denmark. Now, Denmark is in the news right now for telling the World Health Organization in the United States that they need to stop all these travel restrictions, that the world's getting a hold of COVID because everybody's vaccinated. So that's why Denmark is in the news right now. They're one of the first countries to kind of come out there and say, hey, man, we're tired of these travel restrictions. It's time for you to, stop that. We're going to have to deal with this. All right. So we got Oman at number 5. We got Switzerland at number 6. Norway at number 7. Number 8, New Zealand. So you have a lot of Europe. You got Qatar at number 9. You got Portugal at number 10. I'm hearing a lot of good things about Portugal, family. Shout out to my guy, Zoe. We linked up with him yesterday. He said he loves Portugal. It's one of the cheaper countries in Europe. You got coming at number 11, you got Japan. You got Luxembourg coming in at number 12. Canada coming in at number 13. All right. Taiwan, number 14. Let's see if we see some countries on here that a lot of us frequent. All right. Saudi Arabia, that's interesting. Costa Rica, number 28. Panama coming at number 29. Greece at number 30. Let's see where we at here. Let's go down here to Thailand comes in at number 44. All right. On the list. You got Ecuador, you got Italy. So basically a lot of Europe. You got the Philippines coming in at number 49. You got Colombia coming in at number 50. All right. And Colombia, you have to always be on your guard. It's interesting they put that came in at number 50. That is kind of low, but I could definitely see that. The thing about Colombia is the dangerous part about Colombia is you could be in a very nice area, right? A very nice area, and somebody can hop off that motorbike and they can rob you real quickly. So what they did was they outlawed 2 people to a bike. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if that's are they enforcing it right now? But the robbers got so bad that they said, okay, no more people riding 2 to a bike. Because what they would do is one would pull up, one would hop off with the pistol, put it in your face, get your cell phone, get any cash or jewelry you have, and take off. So that was a big problem in Colombia. Hopefully that law might change things a little bit there. Shout out to Trey Tibbs. He says, I do want to go to Japan. All right, let's go back to the list. Where we at? Philippines coming in at number 49. Colombia coming in at number 50. All right. Let's see who we got here. Mexico came in at number 51. A lot of expats, a lot of digital nomads over there in Mexico right now. Kenya came in at number 52. All right. Number 54 is the United States. Brazil comes in at number 58, with South Africa coming in at number 59. All right. So you definitely want to be mindful of this right here. Like, this is an important stat right here. Safest countries for expats ranked. Hopefully this will help you in deciding what your decision will be as far as what countries you want to choose to be in. If you have the option to choose which country. I know a lot of digital nomad jobs come with, certain countries they can be in. A lot of contracts are like in the Middle East. But if you have the choice, this is a good study to look at to see, okay, what's the safest countries? If for me, I feel like I can live in Colombia and Brazil with no problem, no issues. I haven't had any issues. I don't know too many guys have had any issues besides maybe getting pickpocket. That's one of the main issues I see is probably the pickpocket, the petty crimes, stuff like that. But let me tell you guys, in terms of safety and not want to get pickpocket, this is a necessity right here. The travel wallet. All right. You can find these on Amazon. I got this on the street in Copacabana for like $5. This right here, man, you can put your cell phone in this. You can put your little cash in it. You kind of wrap it around your waist. A lot of expats, a lot of, veteran travelers have this right here, man. This is very important, man, because there's a lot of, pickpockets out here. If I had this in the DR, I wouldn't have got pickpocketed. I wouldn't have got for my phone. All right, I got pickpocketed 3 times in the Dominican Republic. All right, so this right here is a lifesaver. All right, so you definitely want to have this. Most robbers are going to come out, they're going to get your pockets, grab your phone, they're going to go. But with this right here, you should be good. Unless it's a real detailed robbery, this right here will save you. Also, another important thing you guys want to have is a backup phone. This is my second phone. All right. You definitely want to have 2 phones. You want to have a burner phone. Now, I know a lot of guys want to have like nice iPhones. They want to take really good pictures. Do it somewhere like if you're going on a tour or you're going to be taking pictures, you can have you'll be paying attention more. It might be during the daytime or something. Have your good phone with you then. But at night, bring out the burner phone. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be drinking, if you're going to be in a certain area, a lot of these nice clubs and bars and stuff, they're in the city, they're downtown, little sketchy areas. Have that burner phone, man, because when they get your phone, you want to go right back to your location, call your bank, shut everything down, all that good stuff with your second cell phone, man. So make sure you keep a second cell phone either on you, hidden, tucked away on you. Maybe you can have your second cell phone and something like this, or you can do like I do, just keep it at your spot, tucked away, hidden somewhere. Turn that around. So make sure. Salute to Jay Clyde in the building. All right, I got a good question here. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me put this question up. He says, Aaron, do you wear that inside or on the outside? You wear it inside, bro. Good question, though, but you wear it inside. You wear it inside your shorts or your pants. I see a lot of guys, man, don't have this, man. This is, like I say, this is a little veteran trick. Definitely want to have one of these, man. These are on Amazon for, $5-10. Let me get it over here. $5-10. You wrap it around your waist, tuck it in. You'll be fine. I like this one, man, because this is deep enough. Now, you have the real cheap ones. Don't get the real cheap one, man. Get you one about maybe $25, $30 US, because these things are break on you. Like, these, this is, you want something like this. This is a good one, but they got some ones that break on you. Like the ones at the dollar store, they'll pop on you, Also, you want one that's big enough. They got some small ones. So you want one that's big enough that you can put a cell phone or a little wallet in, or a passport. So you definitely want something big enough. Don't get the little small cheap ones where you can only put a little cash in. This day and age, man, the male fanny pack is in now, guys. Don't worry. It doesn't question your masculinity. It's not really a fanny pack, but you know what I mean? The little wrap over bag, you put it over your chest. You got a cell phone. More likely you got a mobile charger. You might have some documents on you. You need these things. So something like this, or like a small little bag, wraparound bag on your front, is much needed, man. All right. Yeah. I mean, a sling bag is kind of like, you have that in the front. You can definitely have that. This is kind of like, you're walking around, because you got to think, if you're walking around in a sketchy area or you're just on the beach or something like that, you don't have to have a whole bag on. You just can wrap this around. Don't nobody really know what you got on. You can jog with these, run with these. It's just very, real convenient to have. All right. Now, let's get back to another study. All right, another good question. Somebody said pickpocket. Seriously? Shout out to Omar Ali. Another question. He says, buy a burner phone there or bring your own. You can do both. If you do bring one, make sure it's unlocked so you can throw a SIM card in there. All right. But you can do both, man. Some of these phones, if you okay, I'll put it to you like this. If you want to actually take photos with your burner phone, say if you want to say, if something happened to your other phone, you want to still be able to take photos and stuff like that, then bring your second phone from America, because the electronics out here are expensive and they're not very good quality. Sometimes I'll be really suspicious of even name brand electronics out here in South America, because the quality is different. They might use cheaper parts or something. First of all, it's hard to even find a lot of name brand electronics, but they're all a little off brand. Instead of a Galaxy Note, it might be Galaxy ThinkPad or something. You're like, I ain't never heard this phone in America. And then you pick it up and it's real light. So you got to be mindful of that. Like the phones you get or any electronics you get might not be the same quality at the United States, at least here in South America. If you want, my suggestion would be to order your electronics on Amazon. You might have to pay the import fee. The import fee going to be $200-$300. But if you want that quality, you might have to either go back to America or order it off Amazon or Amazon Brazil or Mercado Libre, I believe the name is. That's like their version of Amazon. All right. But you can always just buy a little burner phone, man. I got a burner phone when I was in Colombia, a little small burner phone, you know. All right, let me get to this real quick. Hold on, family. Stop that. Once again, hope is all is well. Mhm. Let's see if I can find that stat. I'm trying to see if I can pull it up. Hold on, give me one moment, family. See if I can find this. All right, here we go. Top 10 cities for expats living abroad. Good question. Good question. He says best place for black men. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Very good question. All right, top 10 cities for expats living or working abroad in 2021. Let's look at this article right here. All right. So coming in at number one, we have Malaysia. Let's see some of the benefits of Malaysia. 85% are happy with life in general. 78% are happy with the cost of living. Okay, making new friends are easy. They're happy with their jobs. All right. Quality of medical care. Now, that's the big one, too. That's the big one, too. That's a good thing about Colombia. Colombia has good health care. Now, in concerns of the healthcare situation in these countries, you would definitely want to do your due diligence on medical insurance, life insurance. You want to put all those in place. There's a lot of expat insurance. I have one. It's not that expensive, depending on how old you are. You don't have to go in for a physical or anything like that. But you want to see what's all covered. All right. Some of them cover annual checkups. You want to get one that covers annual checkups. The first one I had didn't cover annual checkup, but the checkups here are less than $100. So if you're in Colombia or Brazil, you can get a personal doctor. They'll give you blood work and all that good stuff for $85 to $100. Do that every year, man. You will definitely want to take care of your health. And then you want to get an insurance company that gives you a list of hospitals. And when you get that list of hospitals, you want to see which one has like a section maybe that had for foreigners. Like I forgot the name of the hospital in Colombia, but it's a certain hospital in Colombia that actually has an area for foreigners, which means they got nurses and doctors that speak English out there. So this is another one of the things that you want to definitely check out the healthcare in that country, man. On top of that, sometimes it's better to have a budget to where you can afford a personal doctor as well, because some of these public hospitals might not be to your standard. So if you can get like a personal doctor or a private doctor, they're not as expensive as people say. Say you're not feeling well, so you go into the hospital, you might can go to him, and he can. Well, the cool thing about South America in general is you can get most of these prescriptions, these medications without any type of prescription. That's the cool thing about South America. So if you can kind of self-diagnose, you can go straight to the clinic and buy what you want, which is a really good thing about living in South America. Trey Tibbs says, I heard medical care is far and beyond better overseas than WS. What's WS, bro? The United States? Oh, the US. Okay, that was a mistake. They're the US. I've heard the same thing, man. The thing about America, I remember when I went and I had pink eye or something like that. I think it was pink eye or something. And I just got some eye drops. The eye drops for my pink eye was $700. $700 for some of this small little eye drops. All right. So yeah, America just want to tax you for everything. All right, let's continue on this list real quick. Where we at? All right, we got Spain, Malaga, Spain coming in at number 2. All right. Then you got Dubai coming in at number 3. Now Dubai is expensive. Dubai is expensive. But like I said, it depends on what type of job you have. Maybe if you got some type of contractual agreement or a contract job or a really good digital nomad job. I know in some of these nomad jobs, they actually pay for your housing. I got a friend of mine that he has a really nice apartment, two grand a month that's paid for by his company. Um, that's always an option. You got Sydney, Australia. Some of these countries I don't think a lot of us would really go to. Australia is very far away, but I have a friend that lives in Australia and he loves it. All right. You got gold paper in the house. Let's see here. Let's see what we got here. Back to it. All right. Singapore comes in at number 5. All right. We got number 6, Ho Minh Chau City, Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. All right. And I'll leave the link to all these articles in the description as well. All right. Now we got Prague coming in, Czech Republic coming in at number 7. Number 8, you got Mexico City. I know a lot of digital nomads in Mexico City. All right. Number 9, you got Switzerland. And I know most of you guys are like, man, I ain't going over there. But hey, man, you might want to visit there. You might want to open up your horizon. I know we focus on, 4 or 5 main countries: Brazil, Colombia, DR, Thailand, stuff like that, Philippines. But hey, man, travel. Maybe these stats will give you a guideline of where you actually want to set up shop at. Some countries are good for a visit. Some countries are good to live in. We got Spain at number 10. All right. And I want to give an honorable mention, of course, to the beautiful country of Brazil. All right. Now, Brazil recently did a digital nomad visa. And I think some guys might have overlooked it. Like they didn't know that it was that big of a deal. But it is a big deal, man. It is a big deal. All right. So as far as Brazil, the qualifications for a digital nomad, it's not as strenuous as it even for a student visa, right? You would need $1,600 a month of verified income coming in your bank account, $1,600 a month, or $18,000. I mentioned this before in the previous Sunday rundown. $18,000 or $1,600 a month, full medical coverage. All right, so you got to have some form of medical insurance, and you have to have. I keep forgetting the form, but all the form is basically saying you would go to your local police department, and it would say if you are an active criminal or it's like a criminal record basically. All right, and that's all you pretty much would need, man. For the most part, they just want to make sure you're not taking any jobs from any Brazilians. So that's a big game changer right there. Now, we'll say this about Brazil. The internet at times can be very spotty. Now, I have a friend of mine that stays maybe 10, 15 minutes away from me, stays in a very nice apartment. He doesn't have any issues with the internet. All right. But that's one of the things you definitely want to check when it comes to your locations of finding where you're going to stay at. You know, you might have to get some type of independent router or something like that. But if you really need the internet like that, you definitely want to make sure you're in a good location with the internet. You want to do your Wi-Fi speed. You want to ask the guy, hey, what's the Wi-Fi speed there before you even enter that apartment? Because the internet can be real shaky. It works some days it just doesn't work for whatever reason. You know what? I'm gonna do a show about that. Dennis Oliver made a very good point. He says a lot of people do medical tourism because it's inexpensive, better care, and you get to get a vacation. That's what's going on right now, man. Uh, Dental tours, medical tours, all that good stuff, especially in Colombia. You can get a lot of good work done in Colombia. I believe Colombia is even cheaper than Brazil. All right, Azrael the Daywalker. I'm gonna leave this article. I'm gonna leave all the articles in the description, bro. I'm gonna leave all the articles in the description. All right. Let me put this up real quick. Give me 1 second, family, while I switch this out. So I want to show something real quick. Give me a second. Let me switch this out real quick. Let me go to here. Let me go here real quick. I want to show you guys something. We're gonna have some good conversation today. Give me 1 second. Let me put this up. Where are you at? Where are you at? All right. Now I want to show a post I actually put on the YouTube community and the BMT Facebook group, the Black Men Travels 2.0 Facebook group. It got over 100 some comments. This is good conversation to be had. Some people were like, saying what they were saying about Africa and as far as the Chinese and the colonialism, the French, Europeans, and Africa, right? So I posted this right here. Let me show you. All right, this was the post. They take the oil and say we will provide jobs to help with poverty. Seems like a bad deal to me. Thoughts? So we had a lot. Let me move this real quick. So this post right here got a lot of comments, family. It got a lot of comments. And this is a good conversation. These are the type of conversations that men need to be having. All right. It's time for us to kind of change the direction of, if we really want to empower ourselves as a group of men, right? If we really want to be competitive in the world stage, we got to stop listening to so much celebrity news and start listening to the real news, what's really going on in the world, because this type of interactions or this type of actions going on in the world actually dictates what we do in our everyday life. All right, so let me read this one more time. I said they take the oil and say we will provide jobs to help with poverty. Seems like a bad deal to me. Thoughts? So the article is Chinese French oil majors seal a $10 billion deal in Uganda. All right, so that's the article. So guys were asking, like, they was making all types of comments. Why this? A lot of African leaders have sold their people out. Hold on, let me move this out the way real quick. But I want to play a clip for you guys real quick. All right. And I'm going to tell you what the book of the week is. We're going to have a book of the week every week. We're going to have a book of the week every week. All right. Let me come back here. So, as you can see, Africa, some of these African countries take these big loans, and people are wondering, like, okay, why you got everything you need there? Some people say it's the education and people don't know how to build. Africans don't know how to build pipelines. I don't know. But some of these loans that they're taking aren't able to be paid back. All right. It's a lot of fine print. And, the Chinese, they're taking ports, all types of stuff. So let me show you something. Let me show you a clip real quick to kind of give you an explanation. This is why it's so important to read. All right. I'm going to show you a clip and I'm going to give you the book of the week real quick here. Let me play this.
In a way where...
Hold on. Play this real quick.
We just know going in that these countries aren't going to be able to pay off the debt?
Yes. Most of these countries in both Latin America and Africa, we have these governments that have a long history of realizing that they can get rich by collaborating with colonial powers. We were always very careful not to break any of the anti-corruption laws of the United States, but there's so many great ways to do it without breaking the laws. At the same time, so you're saying, hey, in this hand, I got a few $1 billion for you and your buddies. In this hand, I got a gun. Now, I didn't ever carry a gun, but I knew the people we call the jackals were right behind us. And these are CIA assets who overthrow governments or assassinate their leaders. So that's when the countries told, you got to let the oil companies come in and take the oil, and you won't make much money off the oil because it's going to pay off your debt. And right now, China's very involved in that also, but the United States has a long record of doing it. As a matter of fact, Jake, what's happening now is China's coming in and offering better deals. I think the Chinese learned from the mistakes that Russia's economic hitmen and the United States' economic hitmen made. I don't think they're making those mistakes. They're going to make their own set of mistakes, but they're not making those.
All right. So I just want to play a quick clip. Fair use. Now that gives you a good topic of conversation right there. I'm going to show you the book real quick. Hold on. Let me show you the book. I read this book maybe about, it's been a minute, maybe 5-6 years ago I read this book. All right. So this is the author, John Perkins. Confessions of an Economic Hitman is the book of the week, family. This is a very good book. All right. Just an economic hitman being brutally honest about, how these world powers control these South American, even Southeast Asian countries. All right. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Yep, Economic Hitman, family. This is the book. This is the book of the week. So I want to talk about this real quick, man. Let me see if I can get this off the screen real quick. I see a lot of going back and forth, specifically with black men on these channels. Diss videos going back and forth, lowbrow stuff, in my opinion. And I really wanted the travel community to not really be on that because there's a lot of time wasting. I feel I've always made a statement that, listen, we don't control major institutions. All right. You don't control the businesses in your community. You don't control the politicians who control the media outlets. You don't control the media outlets. And you're trying to figure out why. It's books like the Iceman Inheritance, books like the Economic Hitman that will give you a real explanation. And once you read some of these books or you do the research and do the audio books or whatnot, now you're ready to have conversations as groups of men to say, okay, how do we get these guys off of us? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we get the leverage away from us? How do we get them to play fair? Now, these conversations that we should be having, all the little lowbrow stuff, going back and forth, tearing each other down. This is why we're in the position that we are in collectively. It's not all of us. It's still a minority of us. But to go on YouTube and to see black men worried about other black men doing what they do, making videos about it, projecting hate towards to each other, basically. It's just lowbrow stuff, low energy. It's not productive. Nothing comes from it. You're not helping the next generation of men come on like every other group of men do. You're just going back and forth like some whats. And this is why we're in the position. This is why I don't even engage in going back and forth with guys, because I know they're not on that level. We're not even in the same room as some of us travel bros. We have real conversations because we're able to leave America for a while and start to think forwardly, not backwards. Be on the beach, get you a good book, read, open up your mind. You try to see, have these conversations, because the cool thing about the travel bros and the passport bros, they want to market it all as one thing, guys having fun, doing what they want to do. But there's so much more to that. It's so much more to that. It's a lot of opportunities. And I keep saying this. There's a lot of opportunities overseas where you can utilize your American dollar. Do you know what goes on in the world for your American dollar, for your British pound to remain number one, number two, number three, number four, whatever, to remain that high? Do you really know what's going on in the world? All right. That's why your American dollar is so high. So indirectly, you're unfortunately benefiting off of neo-colonialism. You're benefiting off of it, but it's good to know what's going on as well. So you might can change things in the future, at least for the next generation. None of man-made is concrete, man. Everything can be taken down. Everything can be redeveloped for good. We can't replace the system with a system of justice if we all come together and stop trying to tear each other down with lowbrow conversations, with that hip-hop rap beef stuff. Come on, man. We bigger than that. We bigger than that. These are conversations that men that run the world are having. Powerful men who've been dominating for a long time. It's time for a new stock of men to get power. It's that time now. You see where the world is headed. This means that the same group of men have had too much power and they're just too corrupt. So it's time for that changeover. And I'm not trying to preach to the family nothing, but this is why I don't engage in somebody with these YouTubers that make videos and all that. It's childish, bro. It's childish and it's very effeminate. And nobody really respects it. Women don't respect it. Other groups of men don't respect it. Oh, you guys are just going back and forth. Crabs in the barrel. Ha, ha, ha. It's some truth to some of what these guys are saying about us, bro. And it's not a lot of us. It's definitely the minority. But as black men, we got to start to separate ourselves from these matriarchal males, from these cowards, you know what I'm saying? From these socially awkward individuals that all they do is just criticize other men. And they're not even successful in their own right. They're not successful because they worried about what other people are doing. All right. I just showed you a group of Chinese. They sitting there dominating the world right now. And the funny thing about it, they were dominating themselves a mere 125 years ago. They utilized reverse engineering and they held on to their patriarch to make a come up. They held on to their patriarchy. Even though they was being dominated by the British, they held on to that. And that's why they was able to come up. Because like I said before in the previous video I did, matriarchies are easy to control. So what these guys do is they have a matriarchy at the bottom and they have corrupt families at the top. And if you are some type of powerful leader and you don't want to play ball, okay, you don't want to play ball, we'll just get rid of you and put somebody else in that look like you. It's just that simple. It ain't rocket science. It's really simple. It's a bully system. So as a group of men, you got to figure out, how do we remove the bully system on top of us? Because let's be honest, if the men in your community that control some of the major businesses, some of the gas stations, some of the grocery stores, all right, major businesses that our women and children go to frequently, that they have to go to, some of the clothing stores, clothing lines, the media. If we don't control all this, then it's going to be difficult, because they're seeing, okay, the men with the power don't even look like you, don't even look like us. This woman is going to all these different businesses all day long. She goes spend her money. She spend her money with the Chinese. She spend her money with the Arabs. All right. She spend her money with every other group of men except her own. And we have to do better as a group of men to start to really have these conversations and get off this celebrity bullshit. This rap bullshit. We got to start to say, you know what? Travel Bros ain't on that. Passport Bros ain't on that. We're about building. Shout out to that Xing Shang. There are so much suckers among the ranks for sure, proving the naysayers right in a lot of cases. Yeah, it really is, bro. James of Scotland next says, preach. Yeah, I just want to put that out there real quick for the family, man. Like, we can do so much better as a group of men. But we can definitely compete. It's going to take some time to put ourselves in these positions, but we have to change the topic of conversation at the end of the day. All right, going back and forth with each other on YouTube, making videos with the Twitter fingers and the keyboard gangsters and stuff. Come on, man. We're bigger than that. Now, I want to show an article real quick. I want to show another article before we go. Let me show this other article real quick. This is a very good article. Hold on. All right. I want to show this article right here, family. Now, the title of this article is, let's see here, how the travel industry is starting to cater to Black people. How the travel industry is finally learning to cater to Black travelers. All right. Now, this is a very interesting read. I'm going to put the link in the description. Now, everybody's seeing that, as a people, we're traveling more. We're getting our visas or getting our passports, rather. We're traveling all over the world. And these companies are picking up on that. All right. They're picking up on that. So I want to read a little portion of this. Now, this part right here. All right. This part right here. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Green Book. Any guys in the chat familiar with the Green Book? So the Green Book was basically like a small little book, like a kind of like a Jet magazine, small little books, tiny book, right? And all the Green Book did was it was specifically for Black people to show which cities in America weren't racist, which cities wasn't sundown towns. A sundown town is a city you got to be out of if you're a Black person by nighttime. All right. So you would get these books and then you would travel the country because you know exactly where to go. It's like a Bible for travelers, like a map. And then and they would have like businesses and cafes they can go to too within that map, within that little Green Book. So somebody made a Green Book an international green book, basically, for black travelers. All right. Because some of these countries, some of these countries, these humongous countries, when they see black people or African people, it might be maybe a little racist, or, it might be one of them countries deep down in Asia somewhere where there's no black people. So they taking photos of you, grabbing on your hair, like you were like a zoo animal or something. That's right. Green Book is American history. That's right. So somebody came up with a green book for international travel, which is a great idea, very dope idea. But I want to read this quote real quick before we go. I want to read this. Hold on. Today, the Green Book has been reimagined for the modern traveler, thanks to Lawrence Phillips, the founder and CEO of Green Book Global. All right. A digital hub that allows black travelers to rate cities, history, affordability, comfort for black travelers, and more. So that's a great idea, man. Very good idea. Now, I want to read something he said. He says, I noticed two things when I was traveling, explains Phillips, who quit his corporate job and traveled to more than 30 countries in each of the 7 continents. He says, there was no central platform to help me decide what to do, where to eat, and where to go, where to party. Being a black traveler, I was nervous about going to certain destinations and not knowing what to expect. All right. So I want to read that real quick. So, family, it is important to have some type of general guideline. I see this all the time when guys go overseas, they stay in a hotel room, they go to the beach, hotel room, beach. You don't know where you at 9 times out of 10. If you're not networked in, if you're not in one of these travel groups, you're basically on your own. This is why it's important for us to have the app. Everything I've been telling you is leading up to having our own platform, independent platform, all right, and having an app to help travelers, all right? That way you have a resource center on where to go, what hospitals to go to, all right? You have geotagging in the app so you can see which other members are around. So you can hit somebody up, you can message them and say, hey man, what you got going on for the night? Hey, we're gonna all link up at this real cool, dope little pub or bar or club or something like that we like. Hey, they play American sports over here on Sundays. That's a big one right there. In Brazil and Colombia, most people are going to be playing soccer or something else, but you do have a few clubs and bars that might have, playing American sports. You know how big we are about our American sports. That doesn't go nowhere. I love football all over the world as far as American football is concerned. All right. So let me show you where we are on the Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaign right now. All right, family. So we got 107 backers. We got $4,418. We are 17% of our $25,000 goal. All right. Now, total, we're almost about 19 to 20% because we have $6,000 from the Cash Apps. So we are at about $6,000, family. $6,000. We are raising $25,000 to have our own mobile app, our own private social network with geotagging, group benefits, and communication. The link is in the description. So make sure you go down there and donate. So what you're basically doing is any donation over $25, you will get the first 6 months with no charge. All right. So you'll be utilizing the app and utilizing the app services for the first 6 months. Anything over $25. And this would be a good look. Coming together as a group of men, raising money, all right, to build our own platform. Because we should have had our own version of social networking. China has a version of Facebook. Russia has a version of Facebook. They won't allow somebody else that's not Chinese or not Russian to control all the aspects of their social media. So much so that the gender war is getting bigger and bigger, and black relationships are suffering because they control the algorithm. Right now, you have several dozens of channels geared on hatred towards each other. Right now, if we control that platform, we would pretty much limit those channels because it's not a good look for the black family. It's not a good look for the community. But guess what? It's a good look for the guys who control these platforms. There's always been some type of intellectual social war against black people in the United States. Things haven't changed. The technology changes, but the direction or the intent is always the same. keep us at the bottom, keep our families broken up, keep us going back and forth for each other's necks, But once again, if we controlled our own platform, if we controlled our own media, we wouldn't be having these issues. We can't directly just blame the women for the downfall of the Black community without holding ourselves accountable for letting another group of men control us, dominate us, unfortunately. And it's a hard pill to swallow, but it's just the truth. When you don't control your media, you don't control your social networks, then you are privy to whatever they decide to influence you with, or your women, your children with. All right. This is how you get city girls and Nicki Minaj with $100 million budgets, and the India Reeves or the Lauryn Hills with $5,000 budgets. All right. We need more Lauryn Hills, less Nicki Minaj's. This is the reason why. So, family, it's very important for you guys to make sure you donate to the BMT mobile app. This is just a start. This is just the beginning. All right. It's going to be other projects we're going to crowdfund for, real estate projects, all types of stuff, businesses. Crowdfunding can really change everybody's life. This is just a start. And when you control the algorithm, all right, if you own a business, right, and you say you own a shoe business, or like I just showed you, a travel pouch. Let me put myself back on screen. I'm off screen. Hold on. All right. So say you own a company that makes these travel packages, all right? And you try to put them on Facebook or Amazon, and you're going to be pretty much a needle in a haystack amongst them. Now, if you have your own platform, or if you own an independent platform like this platform, and you have an online store selling these, guess who's going to work with you to make good sales for you? We're going to work with you, bro. This is why it's so important for us to control our own algorithms, our own platforms, all right? So, family, that was a good show today, man. Hope you got some good information. We out. Peace.